League, and tonight with me, Andy Ragequit, it's tier 2, it's round 3, and we are heading to Hungary to race around a rather delicious track that has very few opportunities for overtaking. However, there are some technical areas of the track which will allow people to make moves based on other people's mistakes. We've seen some glorious racing in the first 2 rounds of MRL in tier 2 with our championship leader Andy. Back-to-back wins in that clearly overpowered Mercedes car. We have got 4.3 kilometers of racing, 2.738 miles, only 14 turns with 2 DRS zones, both very close next to each other. The first DRS zone on the straightaway there is the best opportunity that people have for overtaking into turn 1. Turn 2, there's not a great deal of overtaking to be had there in that first sector, in that second DRS zone. The rest of the track, essentially the drivers have just got to keep their heads, keep their cool, and make sure that they have enough in their locker to ensure that they stay close enough to have a go down that home straight. Here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's tier 2 showtime for MRL on Sunday night, and it's tier 2, and the Red Bull of Kermit Attacks gets a lightning start into P1, but can the traction of J-Joe make it back around into turn 2 and 3? J-Joe claims P1 back from Kermit. Don't know what's happening in the back of the field. We've got some places changing hands, but J-Joe claims P1 back off Kermit Attacks. Looks like we've got 2 McLarens very close to each other in Don't Blink and Atmos. We may well have had a yellow flag, and it's Moo Irons out in the gravel, it looks like.
Oh yeah, thanks, idiot. Thank you so much. Just cut me off. Like, that's... I'm sorry.
Welcome in then, everybody. Hope you're having a most magnificent start to your week. Fake Mano then. Fake Mano is next to City of R. That's close. Tiny little bit of contact perhaps. Might have compromised City of R as we come round. No, he's still got Fake Mano for company. Fake Mano goes down the inside and makes the move. They're still side by side, but Fake Mano gets through in the end, up into P5. J-Joe has checked out. He is 1.4 seconds down the road from Kermit Attacks. It's Andy in the Mercedes in P3 with MB Jacobson up to P4 in the Haas. Fake Mano, as we said, in P5. Yellow flags in Sector 2. We've got Gibbsy. Gibbsy's round in Sector 2. He's going to have to wait till all the cars have got past him. And don't blink in that McLaren. He's round as well, all the way down into P20 potentially. Yes, don't blink. The reserve driver for the McLaren team, who'd done so well in qualifying, all the way down to P20. Very close though now, having a little look his AK. Patience is the key in this part of the track. Moves taken in sectors 2 and the back end of sector 3 can be terminal. Here we go then, down the straight, beautiful camera angle, Maud. AK, Ketchen, Semtex. Are we going to see AK make a move? He dips to the inside. Is he going to make a move to the inside? He is. We've also got Ketchen and Semtex getting closer, and Maud gets a bit squirrely. That's going to allow Semtex and Ketchen perhaps to catch him. 2 wide in Ketchen and Semtex going into turn 2. Can they keep it all the way through there to get into turn 3 and 4? I've got more than 120 friends in my friends list, therefore I can't catch anybody. Are we going to see a Haas making a move?
Don't let me get behind the AI. Oh, what a switchback. Oh, no way. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What a double overtake. Oh my gosh, dude. What a double overtake.
That might be a warning for Maud, as Moo Irons is closing in. And by the way, Ketchen and Don't Blink are so close. The Gibbsy Mobile isn't too far behind either. I think we'll stay on board as we go around the final corner. Let's see if anybody can make a move. Looks like good traction from Irons. DRS wide open. He's going to make a move on that inside. Is he? Yes, he is. Gets the job done.
All right, welcome to the second round of the MRL versus EARL tournament. We're getting ready for the second round. We're going to be going into Brazil. I'm Mage. Joining me is Kamo.
Hi guys, welcome to the second round. As just Mike said, we have a lot of fun watching the first round, and I hope we're gonna have the same the second round in Brazil.
Yeah, the first race, it got really heated, especially towards the end. One of the drivers suffering a puncture right at the last moment, and ultimately getting out of contention. But going into this round, it should be exciting to see. The way the format works is 10 drivers on each side. No matter where you finish, the top 5 on each side will be guaranteed moving on to the later rounds. The top 2 moving on to the final round, guaranteed. So let's say you finish 4th overall, but out of your teammates, you're the second best. So you have a teammate that finished 3rd, for example. You would move on to the final round regardless. So really, it's not just a fight against the other team, but it's also a fight against your teammates a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see if these teams are going to work together properly, or if they're going to try and fight each other, hoping to make it into the next rounds.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting to see, because I was seeing some battle between teammates during the first round, which is sometimes they may have a different strategy, and will normally should try to work for the team first. But sometimes you are in the heat of the race and you forget even about your teammate. So it's going to be very interesting to see how people are going to handle all of that, knowing that you can go to the next round, even if you are 6th on the grid, but you may be the second best of your own team. So there is a lot of strategy to take into account to go to that race, which is going to give us a more interesting race, I think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that team play plays out. Obviously, with strategy, it shouldn't be too surprising. Pretty sure it's just medium hard or hard medium, just depending on which tire you prefer to start with. Qualifying, I think, is pretty important at Brazil, although you can still make a comeback. It's not too difficult to make some moves around that track.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Brazil is a track you can definitely take over somebody before turn 1. So it's going to be really interesting. And I'm seeing some names that I know that from the MRL side are really quick, like Bricks. It's been a while he did not race with us, but whoever is in most Western League know about him. So Fake Mano, it's Yellow. So you're gonna have some pretty good people representing MRL for this race in Brazil. So I hope having at least some nice racing like we have with the Giant fans early on.
Yeah, and the racing should be pretty competitive. At the moment, we're just waiting on the last few things to load up before we get into a short qualifying, followed up by the full race. Like we mentioned before, top 5 of each team will be moving on. Top 2 will move on to the final round. 3rd, 4th, and 5th will move on to the penultimate round, and the remainder will be moving on into the 3rd round, where they have a chance to potentially make it to the end.
I think we are the ones supposed to make the lobby and everything, and I guess we did not. So let me go ahead real quick and do that, because I'm not seeing the track being made and stuff like that. And I think maybe it's because I don't know who is in charge of this lobby, but it did not make a change.
Right.
Yes,
At the
so
moment, at the moment it's on Belgium for some reason, which is
Belgium,
it's a little strange.
Yeah, I guess it's maybe the guy from EI who's supposed to do it because there is a name ORA who's supposed to who is the host. So I hope he's seeing that and doing the change that needed. Oh, Fake Mano now is the one in charge. So I don't know who can just make the all the change that need to be happen because I think the setting is different, that's for sure, and the track need to be changed as well. So
Oh,
whoever is
the host just got changed, so I think we're gonna be
okay, it's
getting it
Fake
swapped
Mano.
over.
Okay.
So, did you watch the Monaco Grand Prix today?
Oh yeah, I watched it. I watched. It was really for the first time. I think the Monaco was really interesting because normally like the race is pretty much the grid how it stand, but today we had everything: the weather changing, the pit strategy, and as always the Ferrari messing up and just dropping a few places. But yeah, it was a really interesting race to watch for once.
Oh yeah, I mean, like there was a surprising amount of overtaking at Monaco. It was honestly really great to see. A little bit of mayhem towards the end with the weather changing and all, but yeah, Max was dominant. Red Bull has won every single race thus far this season, and I'm kind of infuriated by it at this point. I really hope we see Alonso or a Ferrari or a Mercedes win. Ideally a McLaren, but that is not going to happen realistically. So
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless a Red Bull like a DNF before the end of the race, I'm seeing other cars will be winning at
it would require
any
at least an
moment.
8 car pileup for McLaren to have a chance of winning.
Yeah, and that was something. That was some, and even though the McLaren they were having a good race today, and what about the Alpine? Like Ocon, Gasly, was having they had the pace somehow, but still they were strategy wise really good, especially Ocon who kept the Ferrari behind him and everything. So yeah, that was really a good race from them in terms of their team as well. And even the Mercedes, like Russell coming back up and Hamilton as well. Yeah, I guess I just feel bad for Perez who lost everything since the qualification yesterday. To be honest.
Well, I mean that was all on him. That was entirely his mistake. Unlike Leclerc getting that 3 place grid drop due to him impeding Lando. Granted, that was not his fault actually, because
Yeah.
unsurprisingly, it was engineer failing to inform him that there was a car coming, and so well, how is he supposed to react to something that he doesn't know is there? You know, I can't say I
Yeah.
blame him for that one, but yeah, Leclerc, as usual, getting ruined at Monaco. He can't ever seem to get on the podium at the very least, which is a shame.
Because
I hope he
yeah,
wins one day because it's his home race. But I mean,
I
the
hope
man
for him
cannot
too.
catch a break there at all. Speaking of not catching a break, Tsunoda didn't either. I mean, well,
Yeah,
mm,
that's very tough for him. I feel for him sometimes because he wanna win so bad in there, and I guess the more he wanted, the less he is getting the chance to have it. And like the, the part that is saying on the comment, that's a Ferrari thing to just always screw things up,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. I will say though, props to Esteban Ocon for a heroic performance in Monaco. I mean, and during qualifying, the fact that he was P1 right near the end of qualifying, I just thought there's no
Yeah,
way Alpine is going to get a win, right?
yeah,
Thankfully, balance was restored to the universe when he got P4, but, you know, that Leclerc grid drop put him in the podium places, and he fought and stayed there despite getting harassed by Ferraris and Mercedes the
yep.
whole way. Impressive drive by him. Definitely one of his best drives of his career thus far.
Yeah, I must feel like Kayla said for Carlos. Carlos Sainz was behind Ocon this all time. He's trying to take him over after the tunnel, I think, multiple times, but wasn't able to do it. Damaging his front wing as well, but his team's going a wrong strategy by asking him to pit too early. I guess he was on hard. He could go a little bit far and try to do the overcut instead of the undercut, and but that didn't work out for him. And I think even like the team did let him down, basically. But hey, unlucky for him.
Yeah. Although now we're going to be getting into the qualifying just now. Taking a look at this circuit, I mean, this track is an all-time classic. Here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, track distance a little over 4 kilometers, 2.6 miles for us Americans. We got 2 DRS zones, both almost back to back, only 3 turns separating the 2. So really, it's going to be very useful to make some overtaking happen all throughout this circuit. Although, oh no, this is going to be interesting. Give me some moment before I pull this up, and you'll see exactly why I reacted the way I did. We are in an absolutely drenched qualifying session. Full wet
It's
tires
raining,
are
baby.
required. Oh
Yeah.
no, that Brazilian weather has just immediately rained on everybody's parade.
I would wonder if it's like wet to dry or just wet for the whole session, because it's gonna be really interesting to know which one it is.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I
Boy,
mean, we're already off to something very interesting, I gotta say.
yep. This is gonna be interesting. Boy. Well, it's a nice way to start, and know some people are really good on the wet, and I hope the race is gonna be dry, because if you put a wet setup and the race is too dry, man, you're gonna be in trouble for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have Sebi making his way out on track now. And well, the question I'm wondering is, if someone could answer in the chat actually, if we're gonna get full wet throughout the race, one of the drivers could maybe answer that question. We'd like to know that. I mean, right now it is just an absolute downpour, and I think that could very well carry on into the race. But right now, I mean,
Okay,
if it's going to be a dry race, then that means
you wanna know?
all these drivers, yeah, they're going to want to run a dry setup. So,
Yep.
you know, these drivers are going to want to take some risks here and there.
Wow. I guess so. The first out, I see most of the EI driver and a little bit of MRL driver with the yellow is out, and which said be the first one to have it on the lap, I guess.
Yeah, we have a couple drivers struggling in these conditions. Can't say I blame them. Sebi is making his way through on his lap right now. 19.6 in Sector 1. We have a couple other drivers coming up. Ethan is coming through right now. Oh, nearly lost the car entirely there in Sector 1. He is actually relatively even despite nearly losing the car, so he could potentially find a couple more tenths even. Now, track evolution is going to be a factor as these drivers go through and start to clear some of the water. Granted, the rain isn't going to help too much with that, but still, it's going to be interesting to see how these times continue to stack up over time.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because under the weather, the more lap you drive, the more your time is supposed to get better. So I'm sure you're gonna try to fill like 5 or 10 lap of fuel and try just to run as much as you want and try to improve your lap every single time.
Yeah, and I just realized on the screen I forgot to swap the no assist icon on there. Apologies. Thank you, Pat, for pointing it out. And I'm not surprised Pat pointed it out. But Sebi just crossed the line. 119.745 is the time to beat.
Yep, for now.
Yeah, we'll see how these times continue to stack up. AMS7 is getting his lap started. We have a couple more going through. Right now, Sebi's time isn't beaten, and he's got a seriously large gap. Knack is getting ready to cross the line. Can he beat him? Yes, he does by just under a tenth. He manages to beat him out.
Yep.
I mean, you can see some of these drivers are really struggling. I don't know if they're just having a hard time in the wet or if it really is going to be dry during the race, and so they're opting for a dry setup because of Park Ferme.
And yellow should just spread the second the best time, 1/10.
Yeah. Who are that's the name is a mouthful. But
Huare.
Huare. There we go.
Huare,
Thank you. I am
it's,
terrible at pronunciation. But Huare is doing quite well. He's got a little over a 10th advantage on Yellow Snowman, who's also going through. It looks like a lot of these drivers have put on quite a bit of extra fuel, wanting to go for some multi-lap runs. So I think these times are going to increase into the 118s, maybe even 117s over time.
Yeah, that would be the smartest idea. Just try to, keep doing laps and laps and laps.
Yeah. Speaking of the 118s, there we go. We're already in that margin. Amos Devon puts himself in the fastest time with a 118.9.
Wow, somebody spun it on. Oh, okay. Just did it.
Now the other driver, his game crashed. So we didn't even invite back. And we have JJ making his way through. He's getting ready to finish up his lap. Let's see how it compares to everybody else.
Wow.
Sebi's considering the intermediate tires. I mean, in these conditions, I don't know if that's a good idea.
I don't know. Okay, Bob's need an invitation. Let me go real quick. Grab that. I hope I have him as my friend.
I feel Goulty is getting ready to cross the line. He puts himself just in the top 10, and it's a little bit behind Fatweed.
Where's Bob's? I'm sure I have him on my friend somehow, but I can't find him.
Almost everybody now has put a lap on the board. Yellow Snowman and Sebi are both considering the intermediate tire option. I really question this decision. Just a little. Like, that's... Okay, yeah, Yellow Snowman is finally thinking with logic and is putting on those once again. Thankfully, because intermediates I doubt would do very well because its rain definitely doesn't look like it's gonna let up anytime soon. And due to the wet weather, there is a sizable gap between all the drivers, a few seconds between them all. Still, it is keeping relatively close. 2.5 seconds with one outlier of Oreo Cat, but Oreo Cat is going for another run, so we could see that. But we still have 4 drivers yet to the time, 3 of them MRL and 1 EARL.
Oh, yeah. I want to know what time Sebi gonna have, because he put the Inter.
He is going out on the Inters. Oh, Blunty gets a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Ethan. And Blunty gets the same. We're colliding with James.
Wow, what's going on with
the EARL teammates are colliding with each other in qualifying.
That's nuts.
That's really not good.
That's nuts.
Yeah, maybe we'll have Sebi just taking his sweet time around. I'm still baffled by this decision to go on intermediate tires. Yeah, well, actually, no, look at him. He's slipping and sliding all over the place. He's barely in control of his car right now. I think he's just desperate to try and find any advantage he can, but it's way too unsteady for him at the moment.
Yep. If I was him, I would just put the wet and just do how much lap as I can and get more confident to the track and try to be as quick as possible. This Inter not working at all.
You know, the question I'm wondering is he going to extend it, or is he just going to go right into the pits? Oh, he has to go into the pits. I mean, he can barely go down the straight in control.
Yeah,
yep, he's wisely going into the pits, but he wasted a lot of time attempting that.
is. I don't know if Bob's is in or not, but I sent him an invite.
Oh,
He's still in the pit.
apparently, John Vaughn is going to retire lap 1.
Okay. Why? Any reason?
I'm not certain, actually. Apparently there's something wrong. I don't know.
From the ER side, maybe get from the EI side. Okay, maybe it's on the ER side. Okay.
Okay.
So just to make sure he does not take anybody with him while he's retiring.
Yeah, that may
Uh,
potentially be the reason.
yeah. These guys send me Bob's.
Yeah, we have Land Sharky making his way around. I mean, he's on land and it's wet, so I guess for Land Sharky, this would be ideal conditions for him. Let's see if it does work out for him. Getting ready to cross the line. His time is gonna be 121.359. That's good enough for 13th overall.
Wow. Well,
I mean, not
uh,
ideal, but still, it's better than where he was in 17th. We have a few more drivers. Let's make the way around it. Why is Sebi considering the soft tires?
what Simi is doing? Oh,
It's
okay.
just
Well,
Sebi is just he's baiting us at this point. I think he's watching the stream. He
yeah,
sees
he's just trying
us.
to tease us. He wanna try to give us a hard time, I guess.
I mean, Sebi, if you're watching, do it. Go out on soft tires, please.
Yeah,
I
we love
insist.
it.
Go on ahead. Let's see what
We
happens.
will love it. Yep, we will love it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Go ahead, make it spicy, man. Make it spicy.
Yeah, we've got Devin making his way through. I mean, lobby's glitching just a little bit there. But these drivers are going to have to try really hard to keep in control. I'm wondering if any of the drivers who are currently watching, if you could tell us if it's going to be full wet throughout the race, or if it's going to be wet to dry, just whatever the weather condition is.
Yeah, that would be nice if we have those information.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't provide spectators that information. I kind of hope the next game
Yeah.
does provide that. That would be nice to see. And fake man is making his way around, getting ready to finish up. He's nearly a second up on his time. That's going to be enough to put himself into the top 10. Crossing the line, he does pull it off. And he moves up to P8. Right now, though, EARL is looking dominant within the top 3, but 3 MRL drivers are just behind. And Yellowstone and City are both considering intermediate tires as an option again, which is still baffling to me.
Yeah, it's still too wet for that. And yeah, here I look very comfortable in this wet condition for sure. So
Yeah, Ethan crosses the
I
line,
know.
puts himself P4.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know that the AI side sometimes they did, I guess last weekend, a practice session on full wet in Mola. So maybe they are used to running wet lobbies as well. So that will be interesting to see. Ooh, Uzi lost it.
Yeah, right now I would say EARL is definitely looking more confident than MRL in qualifying right now. Sebi, once again, considering the soft tires. I mean, if you're going to consider it, go for it at this point.
I don't think he is. He's just trying to mess up with us, make the commentator. I think so.
I mean,
just let him there for a while.
that's fine. He's just simply, wasting more time. He's got only a few minutes remaining before the end of qualifying. He needs to put a couple more times out there before it's too late. And you can see a lot of drivers are going around. Some opting for a little bit higher fuel to go for multi-lap runs. smart decision, I think, because obviously changing the tires isn't going to make too much of a difference. These wet tires can basically go on forever. So, might as well full send.
That's for sure. But I know that few of our driver like Yellow and Drix, they have a really good race pace. So even if they're not 25 very high, I'm pretty sure they should be on top there fighting it once the race starts. That's for sure.
Yeah, a little over 3 minutes left to go. So for those remaining in the pits, we're kind of entering a little bit of the calm before the storm, before everybody comes out for one last run. But
Let me
yeah,
try to send a Navy to Bobs again. I sent him 2 invite already, but he cannot get in. And he is still offline from my end, but I'm still using his EI. So if he is listening to me, I don't know which platform he's using, but I'm sending the invite on his EI. So.
and that's another 5-place grid penalty for collision with Anthony from Ethan. That's 10 places in total for him that I think he has. Let me check the race director here. Oh, never mind, it's glitched. Try it again. Oh, there we go. Okay. No, it's invalidated. Okay, Blunty has 2 grid penalties, so that's gonna cost him a lot. Ethan, okay, that was his first one. Okay, so Blunty has 2 5-place grid penalties, so 10 places in total. So at the moment he's P8. He's gonna drop all the way down to P18 unless he can gain a couple more places here right at the end.
Hey, Maj, do you have Bob's on your friend? Try to send him an invite because I tried to send him 2 or 3 times, but still he's not able to get in.
Do I have who?
Bob's.
No, I do not have buffs.
Oh, yeah. And there is somebody saying that like the race gonna be a half dry and wet.
Okay, so it's gonna start from dry and go into wet. Okay, perfect.
Wet, yeah. So that'll be fun.
And the last 2 races I've commentated that have gone from dry to wet have always been incredibly intense. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now, though, I mean, EARL is looking great. Ethan, he's going to be finishing P4, but 5-place grid penalty is going to drop him down a few places. Little time left remaining. Sebi crosses the line, puts himself onto the front row now. Devin is unable to improve at the moment. Seneca cannot improve either. Ware, he's gaining some time here, and if he continues to gain just a little more, he could take Sebi off the front row. But Landsharky is also going on a run. Yellowstone is getting ready to go on a final run, as well as many others getting started.
Whoa.
Okay, forecast is dry but overcast, 24% chance. Okay, so it's going to be a dry race. Okay.
Okay.
I'm perfectly fine with the dry race in Brazil.
Yeah. And I think the last people to cross the line to start their lap may have a good chance to be higher up.
Yeah, qualifying is mostly decided at this point, I think. We're now into just the remaining time, so everybody is on their final run. So they got to make this count. Sebi at the moment is still holding on to that front row spot, but he's not going to be able to improve this lap at all. So the front row is going to be where he stays unless someone behind can potentially beat him. Syndicate, he's found almost half a second. If he can find a little bit more time, he can make it. JJ is going to be P6, P5 for a moment until Oreo kept beat him. Syndicate crossing the line. Can he get pole position, perhaps? He does!
Let's see, the yellow is finishing his lap.
Oh, yeah, but he's invalidated. It doesn't matter.
Oh, very invalidated, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, if he did finish that lap, though, and he didn't invalidate, that would have put him almost next to Sebi.
Yeah. He's gonna start P11, take man take 10. Which should be the first MRL one.
All right, and yep, looks like that's qualifying decided. But Devin takes pole position back.
Wow,
And yeah,
17.9.
yeah, brilliant time from him. So right now, Sebi is quite alone up there within the top six. Everybody else in the top six is a member of EARL. You have a lot of
Yep,
MRL in the midfield and a few towards the
exactly.
back, but you also have a group of EARL, Blunty, James, Tim, and Goolsey. But Blunty, with 10 place grid penalty, is going to drop all the way down to last.
Well, I know one thing: the EI are on top on this qualification, so we'll see on the race. But what Bug said is interesting. He said like AI guys must have gone for wet setup, or they just built it differently. Which I think they may have gone for wet setup, or I hope that's the case, because otherwise they are too fast for our guys. But it's gonna be fun at least to watch.
Yeah,
So we got the
even.
first one.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Devin is the first one. Okay, Devin is the first one. Tyler Synax, an AI guy. Rich maybe the first Emerald guy, followed by Uri, Fatwed, Otto Cat, I think, Jejo, Verat Etan, Lansharky, Fake Mano, Yellow 7P, 11, Drexy, Bunny, and James Jax, followed by the rest of the group, which are Fake 14.
Yeah, what I'm wondering is, did any of the drivers actually go for wet setups like that? Because, I mean, if they did, they're going to be losing out a whole lot during this race. And looks like we're
Yeah.
actually going to be loading into it momentarily. And once again, we have the pit crew glitch, just absolutely baffling. I mean,
Yeah, but
this glitch stays until a car pulls up to pit, and then they actually go back to their proper places.
yeah. I know one thing. If it's gonna rain by the end of the race, something like that, or maybe 20% to go from the race, and they have a wet setup put in, it's gonna be interesting too. Because it's gonna be dry for now, but I guess more we going into the race, we may have see some rain. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting race.
All right, here we go. We're about to get underway in just a moment. It's pretty overcast overhead, but I don't think it's going to rain on this parade as the 5 red lights are coming on here in Brazil. And the 5 lights are out. We're underway. I think Sebi got a pretty good start. He's about to contest for second place immediately out the gate going into turn 1. He can't beat him out, but now he's being challenged for third. Pare is trying to find a way past, but can't find a way through just yet. And a few places are being exchanged further down towards the back. It's keeping pretty close between Ethan and Fatweek going into the next corner. It's going to keep close. As well as behind, Driggs makes his way past Big Man. And now Driggs is up into 10th, trying to take 9th away from Fatweed around the outside, going up towards turn 8, I think it is. He nearly gets ahead, but there's a crash, and that's Oreo all the way down towards the back. Drix takes advantage and is now all the way up to 5th place after that.
Wow, wow, wow. What a start of the race. It's really interesting. Like, Rich Sebi was able to keep his third place. Drixie, who did gain a few plays. Other Joe Lance Sharky, the Emerald boys start going up little step by step. So, yeah, really interesting.
You know, we have Fake Man right on the heels of Fatweed right now. He wants to find a way past. He's going to search for up the inside. 3 wide into turn 1. Here we go. It looks like James managed to make it past both of them. But no, they're still fighting. And I think that may have almost been contact for a moment.
Wow.
This is getting incredibly hectic already. Sinek gets past Devin to take the lead. Meanwhile, there's still places being exchanged between 4 or 5 cars right now. This midfield is getting hectic.
Yeah.
As John has retired in the pits like they said he would.
Yep. And I'm seeing right now the battle between Kure, who is all over the back of Rich Sebi right now, and it's gonna be Rich Sebi trying to to defend for his life, because this guy has a medium tire, also he has a tire advantage over Richelieu. Oh, we almost lost it. Oh, nice catch up. I guess Richelieu can try to pull up a gap a little bit for now and try to have a breather.
Yeah, right now, Fake Man, he's caught in between two EARL cars, but it's a pretty fierce battle. Less than a second gap from 7th all the way down to 18th place. So this midfield is staying very, very close. Meanwhile, up at the front, we have a three-way battle for the lead at the moment between Sinak, Devin, and Sebi, and a battle for 4th place between Avare and Trix, who is rapidly gaining. The only driver in a bit of a no man's land is J-Jo, and I think he would like it to stay that way and keep all those other drivers behind.
It's a nice battle between Fake Mano and James and Long Sharky, and they are defending for their life right now.
Yeah, speaking of defending for their own life, Fake Man is doing the best he can to defend from Fatweed, trying to find his way around. Now, in 2019, we saw a pretty unfortunate incident between a Red Bull and a Mercedes, and we almost saw a repeat of that for a moment. Thankfully, though, that was avoided.
Yeah, this straight line until the turn one gonna be really interesting to watch. Ekmano, he's burning all his ARS as well.
Yeah, Drake puts it in the fastest lap of the race, attempting to overtake Ware, and he does manage to pull off the move. He's now up into 4th place, and is free to chase after his teammate and help fight for the lead. But actually, Ware is keeping up close behind, and unfortunately for Drake, he burned up all his ERS, pulling off that move. And he's got none left, while Ware still has a few bits of it to spare. Him and Gibbs are keeping it really close to one another. Gibbs wanting to hold on to this position, and he does succeed, though Tim, I think he's going to try and fight it back by diving on the inside into this next corner. I think he's going to send it. No, he's sitting on the outside, or at least he considered it, but chose to back out at the last moment.
We're having like battle all over the track right now for the podium, for the top 5, for the top 10 as well. And my EP, Yellow Snowman, just sitting and watching all this show and, biding his time as he usually do. And we know him for that.
And if Drake's getting past Sebi, it looks like Drake really has got the pace going for him at the moment in the dry. He is sending it full tilt, going after the top 2. And meanwhile, that's Tim getting past Anthony Jenkins. Tim now up in 15th, and I think Gibbs got past Anthony as well. Meanwhile, Fake Man is going to try and fight Lance Sharkey here. Yellow Snowman getting past Batweed. Batweed trying to fight it back here on the inside line. And he does get a better exit and beats him out. I think Yellow Snowman may have had a bit of a problem braking there. But Batweed has no ERS left, while Yellow Snowman has plenty to play with at the moment.
Yep, and Fake Man got the move done, and now he's just behind Lance Sharkey.
Yellow Snowman is losing yet another position now to Goolsy, and Blunty is now on the outside trying to make his way around Yellow Snowman as well. Is Yellow Snowman having damage of some kind?
He's struggling.
That was Fatweed.
Yeah, I'm glad there is the ghosting one. The ghosting otherwise.
But both of us had a moment of genuine fear with them going high speed into a car. But thankfully ghosting is on, so that was avoided. But that was a bit of a scary moment as we were riding on board with it the whole time. Yellow Snowman and Blunty are now going wheel to wheel as well. Blunty getting past Yellow Snowman, now up into P11. Sinek gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's really bad news for him because he's got 4 drivers behind, very close. Ethan's out. Looks like he... And did he retire out of the pits? What's going on? Interesting. I think he's choosing to retire on track. Strange. But it's not going to trigger any safety car of any kind.
Yeah. And Kudrix just caught up with the top 2 guys, and he's right at their back. So, like I told you, Trixie is really quick. So.
Yeah, he is proving that right now, rapidly gaining on this top 2. But I think the two of them may be coming to blows in just a moment going into turn 1. Devin's thinking about it. He's going for it into turn 1. He steals the lead from his teammate, but that potentially leaves him vulnerable to Drix, who's looking for an opportunity. He almost loses the car there.
Yeah.
He was just a little too overeager, and now he's got a lot of ground to make up. Meanwhile, Sebi's having to hold off Poire, who is harassing him from behind.
Yeah, that was that. That was that. He was really at his back and just have a little tap and almost.
No! Poire and Sebi take each other out. Sebi is out. I see what happened there. Haware, I think, was a little too eager, trying to get along on the inside, while
and for safety car.
yeah, Sebi also tried to just bet on the inside. It was both. It was a late move from both of them, pretty much similar to what happened between Alonso and Stroll in Circuit of the Americas last year. I think both definitely could have reacted better within that moment, but unfortunately, Sebi is now out of the race, and a safety car has been triggered.
Oh. This. All right. At least now we lost one AI guy and one MRL guy so far. And Kudrix it pit. I want to know which tire he's gonna put on.
Yeah, these media tire runners are taking advantage and pitting now for sets of cards. Interestingly enough, Blunty is going into the pits. I wonder if it's because he gets damage or if this is a legitimate strategy call. Yep, he does have front wing damage, so he is getting this wing swapped out at the current moment.
Okay. Oh, he's taking longer.
Yeah, so the chat says ridiculous. He's not too pleased with what happened, although, I mean, again, I think both of them reacted very late. Like, yeah, definitely not ideal from either of them. But it'll probably be investigated after the race.
For sure. That's for sure.
Oh, multiple drivers have disconnected.
Huh.
Jado is disconnected. I think another driver as well.
They're just doing on AI or what?
Jado, I'm pretty sure he is on. Yeah, he's on Xbox. I think I can get him invited back. Hang on.
I try to get Jojo if he need an invite again. I'm gonna try to do the same for Bob. I hope this time his PC is fixed.
Okay, I sent Jado an invite. That should help him get back in now. And, well, I would hope he can get back in soon, because at the moment, he's in second place.
Yeah. Is it Jojo or what? Oh, it's Jojo, okay.
And that's Goolsey, who illegally overtook Yellow Snowman. Yellow Snowman getting that place back and moving up into 6th place. Yeah, for those who put on the hard tire, I gotta say, they did this extremely early. I mean, we've got plenty of racing left to go, about 26 laps by the time we can get restarted. And I think we'll get restarted this very lap even. But, I mean, I don't know if I would have wanted to pit that early.
Well, it's gonna be hard to go to the end with like 23 lap of hard. They're gonna be screaming by the end.
Oh yeah, Devin is going to be the one leading them off at the current moment. He's got JJ right behind, so he's going to want to make a quick, clean getaway.
You know,
and he's considering it.
JJ was able to be back online on time or not yet?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. But if he is still an AI, then he's very quickly going to get caught. Judging by the way he's moving, it is an AI. Blunty gets a 5-second penalty for a severe collision with Ware. Yeah, Ware's trying to get alongside as we're getting restarted. And Devin does make a clean getaway. JJ's in danger of losing it as he disconnects again.
Yep.
And that's just going to cost him. He's immediately going to tumble down the order as Fake Man is putting the moves on James. He gets up into second place. Lane Sharky's at the fourth. Drakes gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as Tim and Gibbs are going wheel to wheel, keeping it very close between the two. Gibbs gets ahead. Lane Sharky gets ahead of Yellow Snowman as Bobs is also disconnected.
Wow. It's weird that people are getting discounted like that. I hope it's not an internet issue.
Yeah, maybe an EA issue. I wouldn't put it past EA. Tim gets past JJo. JJo has just now reconnected. Let's hope he can get back under control of his car before he gets overtaken by Sinak here.
Okay.
Well,
Somebody's spending it for too. Ooh. I know Fake Man is the one who is. Oh, Bob's need to invite again. Let me try to invite him again. I don't know how many times I sent him invite so far.
Yeah, Drix right now is pulling out all the stops. I think he may try to send it to turn 1, but Sinak is too busy sending on his own teammate into turn 1. Can he get ahead of Tim and up into 8th? Looks like he's just pulled it off as Drix is now wanting to fight his way back up towards the front. Meanwhile, Devin is just making a very, very clean getaway right now. And JJo is back as he's getting harassed by Ware. Ware pretty much just shows JJo his side, figuratively speaking, of course, and gets ahead of him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Bob's is also disconnected right now. Let's hope he can
And I
get back
sent
in.
him a invite again, so let's hope he will be able to join.
And he's
at
back.
last. Good. Yeah, he's not here yet.
And DRS is now enabled. They won't be able to use it just yet, but they will be able to use it down this small back straight in just a moment. And James is going to be the first person to be able to utilize it against Fake Man.
Yeah. And I think right now, provisionally, like the people who already made a stop are Synax, Grix. There's people supposed to be on top too. Once these people ahead of them make their pit stop, so it's gonna be interesting to see how everything's gonna be panning out later on.
Yeah, this field is staying very close at the current moment. Gouldy managed to blitz his way past Landshark, and he's up to P4. Ricks trying to make a move past Sinak here. Sinak barely leaving him any room on the track right there for a moment. Drix is on the edge right there. I think Sinak just barges into him.
And 2-3 air guy just passing him. Wow.
And Sinak hits his own teammate as well.
Yep. Wow.
Those drivers behind are keeping so close to one another. I'm scared something bad is about to happen.
Oh boy. Wow. And even now, JJo is in the mix as well.
Yeah, JJo is getting involved in this now as well. He's going to have a hard time getting through, though.
Elbow. Yeah, I think they are start getting out the elbows.
Oh yeah, they're definitely getting their elbows out by now. They're just pulling out all the stops, trying their best to hold on to the position. But, you know, there is such a thing as putting your elbows a little bit too far out, because otherwise, you know, you're going to end up knocking someone off the track or yourself as well.
Yeah, like being naughty. Wow.
And James is
right
about
now
to
you have like
sorry, go ahead.
train of four cars, like from PA to JJo or P13 Bob. All of them that are in the mix of a trend of DRS trend. Oh yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yep, James, with the help of DRS, breezes his way past Bateman. He's now up into second place and can potentially chase after his teammate. At the same time, Drex is looking for an opportunity to get past him here. I think he's got a bit of a better run on him, and with the help of DRS, he could have a good opportunity here. Look at the speed difference he's got right now. Looking for an opportunity on the inside. Can he get ahead of the EARL driver? Oh, with just enough pressure, Drex pulls it off.
He did. The EARL guy went a little bit wide in that turn because he didn't have a choice, and that is to give Briggs a bit of traction out of that turn.
Yeah, meanwhile, Oreo Cat is actually all over the back of Jejo. Jejo's in a rough spot. Meanwhile, Zinak is looking for an opportunity to make a move on Tim here. Zinak is really putting on the pressure. No holds barred against everybody.
Yeah.
He'll pocket sector 2. I think that's that's Fatweed off the track. And he's gonna lose a lot of time for that mistake.
And
yeah, meanwhile, Drex is going to overtake his teammate. He's up now into 7th place, getting past Gibbs. And Bob and Oreo Cat are also going wheel to wheel. Bob wanting to find a way through, trying to get a hold of 13th place and get behind his teammate. He's pulled it off and is now free to chase after Jejo. And this midfield, which is staying very close from P7 all the way down to P15. Less than a second separating each driver.
Man, this is a battle all over the place. I'm loving it. This is way
Oh yeah, the
enjoyable,
battle,
man.
better.
Yeah.
Warren Gibbs keeping it close here. Gibbs, oh, they do come to blows. Gibbs, I'm honestly unsure of what happened there. That may have been a racing incident. I did not get the greatest POV of that, to be honest.
Whoa, the EM guys are flying left and right.
Yeah, quite
and they are not
literally.
playing team game at all. Yeah, guy not playing team game at all.
Oh, Huare has disconnected. That's Tim off.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Jejo clears past that okay to get up to 8th place. So MRL right now, they didn't fare so great in qualifying in the race here, definitely making up a lot of ground here. They occupy more points placing positions than the EARL drivers now, but the EARL drivers occupy 3 of the top 5 places.
Well, I know that the race leader right now, IMS Jamin, he's pulling a gap right now with his teammate Jeff, and nobody's looking like to catch him. But he did not stop yet, so it's gonna be interesting whenever he stops. If there's no another safety car, he's gonna be down to at least out of the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, we've got Landsharky slowly but surely gaining on Goolsey. He could potentially go for a move soon. The DRS is going to help him gain a whole lot of ground here. Going down this main straight, you can see the rear wing opening up. And he was nearly 9/10 behind, but he's actually lost a little bit more time. Is Landsharky running a high downforce setup? That's the only explanation I can think of, because like he lost time despite having DRS open. That's actually insane. Meanwhile, Drex is gaining on Yellow Snowman here and could make a move past soon.
Or maybe just Yellow let him pass because they are in a different strategy anyway.
Oh yes, that is true, but Yellow Snowman could be at further risk of potentially losing his spot in the top 5 at the rate it's going, so he may want to try and fight for it. We're about halfway through the race now, and, well, it's going to be soon time for, well, it's soon going to be time for these hard tire runners to swap these hards out for fresh mediums. But considering how close the field is, for those who did choose to go on hard tires, such as Drix will soon inherit the lead. So the question is, are any of the hard tire runners going to go in? Looks like they won't at the current moment.
Yeah, I don't think Yellow can do much against Drix right now. Drix have a fresher tire and DRS open, get the move done.
Oh, and Sinek completely glitches, and who he was ahead of Bob for a moment, but is now behind him. That was a little weird.
Oh.
Tim has a 3-second time penalty, which makes him the 4th driver to get a penalty. Lunty gets the fastest lap of the race now. Unfortunately, it doesn't make the biggest difference considering he's all the way down in P16. And well, considering how old those mediums are going to be, I think he's going to have to pit again.
Yep, that's for sure. And I think Grix right now is provisionally like our race leader because he's the one who's the tire who did make the stop once, and he's right up there at the 6th position. So once this top 5 the driver pit, he will be our race leader for sure. So Jejo, the first one to pit in and try to put the medium on.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, JJ. He's going to want to make up some more ground, so naturally he's going to go for the undercut here, try and beat out some other drivers. And that's a moment. Who has gone off? It's Bobs. And Bobs, I think, has some damage from that crash. Unfortunately, the game is refusing to give me a decent camera angle to see if he has broken his front wing or not. And no, his front wing appears to be intact, but he could be suffering damage on it that we just don't see.
Yeah. And he need to pitch now because his medium has like 18 lap medium, so
yeah,
it should be time for him to pitch for the hard.
I think for these hard tire runners, if they can try to make it to lap 20, maybe if they can lap 22, pit for mediums, make it to the end. Those mediums will be golden. And James and Gouldy are both electing to pit now, actually. Lap 20 is definitely not a bad spot, but I think lap 22 is perfect, I think.
Yeah.
Lap 21 is certainly not a bad option either. But I definitely think JJ may have pitted a little bit earlier, but again, he's going for that undercut, and we'll see if it's going to pay off as he's making his way down the main straight now.
Yeah, and he's going to have to do some tire management for sure, at least for the first laps, just not to try to be too aggressive on those tires. And once we are by the end of the race, to try to have as much grip as he can.
Yeah, we've got Anthony Jenkins at the current moment. He's slowly but surely catching up to Oreo Cap, but he's been on these medium tires for almost the entire race. I think he may have pitted lap 1, perhaps. I could be entirely mistaken there. But if he did, he could swap to another set of mediums, if that's the case. But we'll see. Top 3 are now pitting, and that's going to only Bricks take the lead. Let's see, well, the others are going to go in. Anthony Jenkins is electing to go in now. What is going to be the call for him? I mean, I guess hard tires would be ideal. I mean, if he does go in hards, he will be able to push 100% without having to worry about managing his tires or anything like that whatsoever. And he actually has damage, so he needs to. JJ now gets the fastest lap of the race as he's continuing to try and make up for some lost time. At the moment, he has made up a little bit of ground.
Yep, it did. And I know, like, you see the Yellow Snowman in P2, I think he's gonna pit after he got like 21 or 22 lap on those hard tire, and once he get on the medium tire for the last 16 laps or 14 laps, he's gonna be quick, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, lap 21 or 22 I think is ideal. He's on lap 21 now, so this wouldn't be a bad time to pit. But I think if he could just extend for just one more lap, that would be absolutely perfect. But he is electing to go in right now.
Yep. I guess he's one of the last people on hard to pit. He's Toreo, I guess, who may already have pitted. Wow, Fake Mano getting passed by Olsey. Trying to fight it back on the straight, fighting it back. He's gonna go for the inside. Yep, he get it back. He position back. Oh no, the guy say no. They are still wheel to wheel, but the EARL guy is having better traction, I think, and the fake man have to let it go pass by. No choice, man.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a shame for him, but he can still potentially come back despite Tim is now ahead of Bari and is up into P12. Batwing has been on this hard tire for 21 laps now. I mean, if he's expecting to make it to the end, I think that's a little optimistic. It would not be a bad idea to pit soon.
Yeah, yep. I don't think that's a smart idea to take it to the end. You may get a puncture like Kermit did during the last round. That won't be smart. So Fakeman and Uzi still fighting it out.
Yeah, at the moment
Fakeman's
it's
still
keeping
ahead.
close between the two. Goolsey has the advantage with the DRS and manages to complete the move before the turn. But he has a bit of a struggle on the exit. This can allow Fake Man to fight it back. He's looking for a chance. He's trying to find room on the inside, but there very clearly wasn't. I think he may try to set it up the inside line right here. Is he going to dive? He is diving forward, and what a send from Fake Man. He's still going side by side with him at the moment, but... Oh no! Goolsey didn't leave him enough room there. Goolsey thought he had cleared him. Well, that's what I think would happen. I think Goolsey thought he cleared him, and so he could just close that gap. But unfortunately, there was still a little bit of a wheel and front wing there. But yeah, that's a costly mistake for the both of them.
I was tight. I was really tight. He would have leave a little bit more room. Fake Man, I think he did not. He just pushed him wide a little bit. So I was a little bit too much of defense. And now Jejo is right behind Camps, and he's gonna make the move. Up, he get it done.
Yellowstone and Gouldy are keeping it close. Yellow Gouldy wanting to try and find a little bit of a room that wasn't really there. And Yellowstone is wanting to find a way past Fatweed here, potentially. Meanwhile, Gouldy's still trying to fight it out here. I mean, just a moment ago, he did not fare too well trying to fight through Sector 2, and I think he's once around 2 right now on another MRL driver. He's thinking about it, but just can't find that opening. He's wanting to find a way on the inside. You can see him. He's wanting to get on that inside line. But there simply is not enough room for a full car there. And he bumps into Yellowstone Man and takes him out.
Man, this Gouldy guy, what he's doing?
I have no idea what Gouldy was doing. That was kind of ridiculous there.
Come on, man. Come on, Gouldy. That was a nice. We did it to Fake Mano when you were the car leading, and now you were the car behind, and you still.
Yeah, that may have been a little bit of net code, though. That's a good possibility. This lobby has been a little unstable, but Fake Man very well could have just gone into the back of him. A little uncertain.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gouldy just flies past Fatweed and is now up into P8. I think there may have been a little bit of a team call there because Fatweed is on 24 lap old hard tires. I think what he's going to do is try to make it a little bit longer, like 3 or 4 more laps, pit for soft tires, go to the end.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. That's going to be a really interesting strategy if you put that on. But yeah, I feel for my man, the yellow. Oh, the Gibbs is out.
He's retired in the pits.
Yeah, retired in the pits. Dang. Okay, guess he's having a tough day today. So for now, in our MRL side, our top 2 is Briggs and Jejo. And Lance Sharkey, Fake Mano, and Yellow are gonna have to go to the.
Yeah, Drix is gonna have a hard time though. I mean, ideally, he'll need to make it 10 more laps on this set of hard tires, which, you know, that's going to be a pretty tall order, I think. Especially with the tire wear. I mean, Devin is going to be rapidly gaining. And the top 2 of the time penalties, I think Devin is going to be the ultimate winner of this race. Oreo Cat will have to pit at some point. considering how old those tires are. But most of the other drivers can make it to the end, and Tim has gone on soft tires. I don't think they're going to make 10 laps.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. They're gonna make 7 to 8 laps for sure. So the last 2 laps, he's gonna have to just do a tire management for sure. Because they're gonna be tight to go all the way there.
You know, we have Batley making his way around, trying to catch up to Big Man, but I mean, those worn tires are really going to be hurting him. So I don't think he's going to have much of a chance. But if he just makes it, I would say 1 to 3 more laps, he can go in for a set of soft tires and make it to the end.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. I think MS Divine is about to win this race because he is 6 lap old medium, and there is no way these hard 19 laps can hold him.
Oh, and it's Blunty who's spun around trying to reorient himself. He is going to be coming back on track now. Meanwhile, Anthony Jenkins is actually right on the heels of Tim, and he's going to try and look for a way to get past him. He actually might just get a very good run on him here. He's got DRS, but he doesn't have enough speed to make a move just yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Now he had to 2 second gap between him and Drix, and I'm sure he can catch that up by the next 3 to 4 laps at the latest.
Oh, and that's Oreo Cat just letting James go through. Oreo Cat knew that there was no point trying to fight his teammate there. He'd be wasting a whole lot of time for both of them and tires. So Oreo Cat just let them on by, and soon that time is going to be approaching for Oreo Cat to pit. Fast lap goes to Tim now, taking advantage of that soft tire. But we're starting to enter the closing stages of this race, and where we had a really exciting start, we're having a much more calm finish in comparison. Well, I think we may yet see some excitement because we do have Devin catching up. And honestly, Batley just made it 27 laps on hard tires, so realistically, Drix should be able to make it to the end on this set. He's going to be struggling, but I think at the rate he's going, he's still may yet finish on the podium, but I think victory is soon going to be all of the cards as Devin is rapidly gaining on much fresher and faster medium tires.
Yeah, he's gaining almost like a second a lap. So yeah, he's definitely on for the win. Definitely on for the win. But still, that wasn't bad. I'm just hope that Briggs or Synax, which have like 21 laps, they won't have a puncture by the end of the race because their tire are gonna be screaming by the end of the race for sure.
Yeah, a pretty sizable gap has now formed between everybody. Well, with the exception of the top two, you can see Devin now gaining on Drix. He's within DRS range. He won't be able to make a move here, but he will be able to down the back straight, I think. You can just see how much he's closed the gap. He's right behind him, and is going to have the perfect opportunity coming up.
Yeah, the tire difference is too huge. He can take his time. Whenever he wants, he will be able to pass Drix. No issue. Either this lap or the next one.
Yeah, he doesn't need to send it too hard, I agree. He can play it a little bit safe and just wait for a good opportunity. It'll come to him. He doesn't need to necessarily fight for it too hard.
Wow, wondering, Atwood, is he trying to go all the way to the end with this tire? Because he's now 29 old tires.
I mean, if Batweed is trying to make it to the end, I think that's a little optimistic. That's almost the full race distance on that set of tires, and I just don't think
Yes.
that's feasible. I think he's going to get a puncture by the end.
That's what I think as well. And now here we go. The race for the lead. Race open. It's right behind Drix, and nothing Drix can do about this one. He's just trying to defend it, but the grip difference is just not the same. Yep, exactly. It's gonna break. The grip difference is, yeah.
Yeah, he
Very
tried as hard
interesting.
as he could, but he could only do so much. And the lead now
Yeah.
Devin's in his race to lose. Meanwhile, JJ gets past Oreo Cat and is now up into the top 5. I think Oreo Cat is also going to try and make it to the end. Well, Fatweed is now choosing to pit. He's definitely going to go for a set of soft tires. That would be ideal.
Yeah, that's the best move he has for now, and I can definitely tell that JJ is having a race right now. Because I remember at some point he was like out of the top 10, and now he's like P5. He's having a great race too.
Yeah, Fatweed now pitting though, because of that pit time, he's actually going to lose position to Anthony, who now has a nice sizable gap. But Fatweed, I mean, he can make up 2 seconds considering he's on fresh soft tires, so he should be able to get that place back. Meanwhile, Huare is actually keeping up with Tim at the moment and maybe could find a way past because the soft tires are definitely worn down, but so are the hard tires. Yellow flag in sector 1. Did something happen up at the front? Looks like Blunty's just a lapped car, and
Yeah, a
yep.
lap car, right? And ghosted one. Easy to take there. Drix is burning all his ARS. I guess maybe he's trying to put pressure on David for him to make a mistake. But
No, I don't think that's what Drix is trying to do. What I think he's trying to do is stay within DRS range of Devin, hold on to that DRS, and that way he can keep Sinak behind him.
Yeah.
Because at the moment you can see Sinak is gaining here. Yellow flag in sector 1. That is Tim spun around.
Oh. Alright, Tim. I'm just soft tire. I'm not working for him, I guess, that much. Or maybe he was trying to push too hard. Either way, they're not the best working.
Yeah, it's definitely far less overcast now. You can actually see the shadows from the sunlight. So the track is definitely going to start to warm up now, which could make an impact.
I'm just 25 old lap tire.
Yeah, props to Blunty for making it 21 laps on medium tires and now just managing to pit. And we have Oreo Cat on 31 lap old tires trying to desperately make it to the end.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. I am still kind of convinced Oreo Cat is going to get a puncture within this remaining time. Like, they must be moving very carefully to try and not get a puncture right now. But you can see Oreo Cat is actually pulling a little bit of a gap to the Landshark.
Well, Land Sharky, she would normally should be able to get a little bit for him, but there's like only 3 laps left, so I don't think you're gonna have enough time to get back to him. So
It's a
if
3-second
gonna
time
get
penalty for Blunty.
puncture, yeah. If Hollywood does not get a puncture, it should be good to keep the P6 at least.
Batweed has an opportunity to get past Anthony Jenkins here. He's looking for this opportunity on the outside. He's keeping it close. Goes into the grass a little bit to try and get through. He does a switchback. And I think that move managed to pull it off. He did pull it off. He's now up in the 12th place. But considering how close Anthony is behind, Batweed could very well be in danger of losing that position he just gained. Because Anthony's going to get a hold of DRS to give him a helping hand. But I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. Anthony's simply too far back at the moment, as Bobs now gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yep, and for now, the EI driver we should move directly to the final is Ams, Divine, and Synax. And Jams, Orewo, and Gulzi will be the one going to the playoff race. And for MRL driver, we got Bricks and Yeah, we're gonna move forward to the final directly, and Land Sharky, Fake Mano, and Yellow Snowman will be have to go to the playoff again. Bob's unfortunately, I guess, wasn't able to join the race from the beginning, so he's that lucky today, I guess.
And that's Bloodsy now getting the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't make a difference because he's all the way down at dead last. But it was Tim feud with at the moment. I think he was fused with James. Oh yeah, he is fused with James. That was a little strange, but at the same time, we're on the penultimate lap. Oreo Cat has still not gotten a puncture, but there is one lap to go. We had a last lap puncture in the very last race, so this very well could happen to Oreo Cat as well.
Well, so far so good for him. So let's just wish him luck. And I guess I'm Bit Divine about to do his last lap and should be our winner for this round 2 in Brazil.
Oh, and that's the car spun around. Who is that?
Bob,
yep, that is Bob. You're right.
Bob.
Oreo Cat just has a few corners left to go before one driver. He is getting quite close to claiming victory. And at the moment, Drix is having to defend himself for a little bit longer to keep Senna behind him. Big Man gets a 3-second time penalty now, but it doesn't make much of a difference with all that gap. But ultimately, winning this race, it's going to be an EARL driver, AMS Devin, pulling an incredible drive, an incredible gap to take victory here in Brazil. He's going to be moving on to the final round. Drix taking second, will be joining him in the final round along with Senna, and JJ coming up in fifth. PT will be in the penultimate round with an opportunity to get to the final. Oreo Cat, props to Oreo Cat. What a brilliant drive. 34 laps on our tires. Make that 35 by the end.
That's crazy.
What a race. That's Alex Albon level racing right there. Brilliant.
35 laps on this hard. That's just insane.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on will be AMS Devin, Drix, James, Senna, JJ, Oreo, Landshark, Coolsy, Yellow Snowman, and Big Man.
Right. That was a very nice race, man.
Oh yeah, that was very exciting.
I did enjoy it. That was very good. And Briggs had an amazing race as well because from his position, I guess he was from P6 or P7. He went all the way to P2, which is really, really nice from him.
Oh yeah, that was.
Man was just
Yeah, that was really exciting. And well, if you want to see more of this, be sure to tune into the next part of this, where they're going to be heading to Monza for round 3. For those who did not make it to the penultimate final rounds, they still have a chance to make it going into this third round. So if you want to tune into the next one, I'm pretty sure one of the mods or something will be able to put in the link. But you can go ahead and click on that link and get ready for that broadcast. Punch is going to be hosting along with Pat the Rock, so be sure to look forward to that.
That's good. That was very interesting. I loved it being here, and we had an interesting race. I'm sure the next one as well in Spa going to be as well as exciting. So go there, follow that up, and have fun as we did.
Yep. And thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, the whole works. Feed the algorithm and our fragile egos.